Alright guys, so I'm not going to be making it too long for this video, which means no intro and face cam, since I'm going to be making it as short as possible for you guys. Now, a bunch of you guys have been requesting a video to see my brand new settings and my brand new setups for the Season 8 of Call of Duty Mobile, so here it is. Before we do start, let me switch over to the language of English. Alright guys, so we are back, and before we do start, a bunch of you guys have been asking me why I use the Japanese language instead of the English language. Now, personally, I just think the Japanese font looks way better and cleaner when it comes to in-game performance, which is one of the reasons why I use it. It's mainly just personal preference. I don't really understand the language, but it does look really good. So, without further ado, let's get on with the video. Alright guys, so the first thing we are going to be going into is my HUD. Now, I do use the advanced mode, obviously, since that is the one with the most customization, so let's get on with that. Now, you guys can't see my HUD, it is a bit of a mess, I do apologize. Now, we are going to be starting off with my right hand. Now, with my right hand, I do a bunch of stuff with this. Now, with my right thumb, I use the reload button and the nade button right here, as you guys can see. And I sometimes click my operator skill right there with my right thumb. And another thing I do with my right thumb is switch to weapons right here and maybe pick up a weapon if I need to when it is on the ground. Now, alongside with my right hand, I do also use my index finger for these three buttons right here. As you can see, this is the crouch button, this is the jump button, and this is obviously the scope button. I don't really touch these buttons right here because they're really just there just to be there. And another thing I do with my right index finger is also click the minimap when I need to, but that is mainly just for me to get some information if someone is throwing down a cluster or a Goliath when I'm looking mid-map. Now, going on to my left hand, I do use the joystick right here. I use the sentry gun or my score 6, whatever. I also do plant and defuse the bomb with my left thumb. And another thing I do with my left hand is with my left index finger, which I use my shoot button for, the settings button for, and the scoreboard just to check whatever fragging spot I'm at or whatever. Not really too important, but you guys do see a bunch of buttons right here at the top left of the screen, like the miniature ones. Now, I did lower those down mainly because I don't really want to touch them, or they're not really too important to me, such as the knife button. And the opacity for most of these buttons are pretty low. They are slightly visible, but at the same time they are not visible. I just think it looks better that way, so like I said, personal preference for that. But now that we are done with the HUD aspect of this video, let's get on with the sensitivities. Now, I obviously use speed acceleration, which is at 41, and this is the weird part. My sensitivities in general are pretty slow, as many of you guys do complain about. I do use 68 for standard, ADS is 48, tactical scope is 63, and the sniper scope is 33. And then for the 3x, 4x, and 6x and 8x, sorry, I don't really use these kinds of scopes, so I wouldn't bother using my sense for these, since I haven't really focused on matching my sensitivity with my playstyle with these, since I don't really use the 3x, 4x, 6x, and 8x, so just so you guys are aware about that. And then for firing sensitivity, obviously I use 40. For ADS sensitivity, I use 43. For tactical scope, I use 50. In sniper scope sensitivity, I use 40. And once again, I don't use anything for 3x, 4x, 6x, and 8x. And then gyroscope is obviously whatever. Mine's set to off, so none of these actually matter. I can put it to 100. It won't really matter. I can put it to like 0. It won't really matter. But one thing I do want to disclose is the reason why my sensitivity is so slow is because this matches how I play, but also because I do use thumb sleeves, which make my consistency very, like, what's that word I'm looking for? It makes it constant, which means my fingers will feel the same every time I swipe, rather than me waking up one day having pruny fingers after taking a shower, which then means my sensitivity won't be as fast since my movement feel sluggish. So I would recommend you guys getting some finger sleeves if you guys do want to try the sensitivity. That's the best way to do it. But if you guys don't, make sure you guys use this either way, and you guys can, you know, figure out what you want to do with them. Now, if you guys do want to use my code right here, you guys can honestly just copy this share code right here and just get all of this automatically instead of wasting your time. It's right there, 701. So make sure you guys pause the video right now and do it if you guys would like. But without further ado, let's get on with the other settings. Alright guys, so we are finally back with the class setups. Now, ignore the names at the bottom. Now, most of these class setups are kind of repeated, mainly because I have certain MX9 setups for specific reasons. There are going to be a lot more MX9 classes than you guys are thinking. Now, you guys may know I am using the MX9 mainly for this meta because that is the one dominant gun for this meta. Hopefully, there's a new meta soon because I am getting tired of using the same guns every single time. But for this setup, I obviously have the MX9, but the difference with this one is that I do have the MIP extended light barrel and the agile stock infiltrator foregrip large caliber ammo in the firm grip tape. Now you guys can use that and copy my perks if you guys would like. Everything else is personal preference. And also for my shorty class setup, I do use the Mirage suppressor, steady stock, MIP laser 5MW, tactical foregrip A, and the OWC stable. Now for my second setup, which is right here, it is basically the same exact thing as the first one. The only difference is that it has that silence in a different operator skill. And then for my third setup, another MX9 class setup, but this time it is also different since it has a built-in suppressor instead of the usual MIP extended light barrel, which is also different than the first and second one. And then with the fourth one, I obviously have the regular default version of the MX9. I just use this whenever I'm bored with using the legendary one, since legendary one is kind of pay to win, so I just have fun with this whenever I want to. And now a bit of difference with these setups is number 5 with the PP Bison. Now as you guys can see, I'm using the mono, the MIP extended light barrel, the no stock, OWC tactical, and the large caliber MOA, and then same shorty build, it does not matter. And then for our sixth setup, we do have the one and only ASFL. Obviously you guys can get all these setups in my previous videos if you guys do want a in-depth review with them, but for this one I use the MIP 200mm red ridge barrel, the RTC steady stock, the OWC laser tactical, large extended mag B, and the granular grip tape. And obviously everything else you guys can do whatever with. For number 7 we do have the QXR. Now this one I was trying to get a video with, so ignore this. I don't really use it as much, but I was trying to get a future video with this, so be on the lookout for this video. Now this might not be the class I actually use, it might be something like this, but yeah, make sure you guys have fun with this one. And then obviously same thing as everything else, personal preference is you guys want that. And then DRH is our number 8. As you guys can see, I'm using the Molly suppressor, the OWC ranger, no stock, OWC tactical, in the 25 round OTM mag. Once again, same thing, whatever you guys want for the other secondaries or perks, whatever. And our 9th is obviously the Holger, which I have not been using as much. Now with the Holger, I like it. I've been liking MX9 a lot more this season, which is why I've been using it. But this is the recommended class setup that I would recommend using if you guys do use this weapon. And then last but not least, we have another Holger, but this one is with default since I do love the red dot sight, as you guys have heard me say. Now this one is a bit different. I do have mono, MIP light for the barrel, classic red dot sight, no stock, and the OWC tactical to finish it off. And that is it for my class setups. Alright guys, and that is the video. Now I do apologize if it wasn't too exciting. I know you guys might have were looking for some more action, but these are the setups that I've been using, mainly because the meta this season is kind of weird. But with that video, if you guys did enjoy that video, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.